But the next poet is Amir Or,
who lost on lovers and their love. The world goes on, life goes on, though its end is within it, within them.
עוד מעט והעיר נהפכת על רשרוש עטיפות כריכי המזנונים ועל מלמול הפקידים הרתומים לשולחנם, על קרקוש דובי כביסה במכבסה הציבורית ועל חירוק שיניהם ורכינת ראשם של פועלי הפירמידות ושל עבדי הקבלנים, אלה הזרים ואלה המוכרים, ועל תודות גמולי החסד, נתמכי סעודתם, המחפשים ומוצאים בהשפעה את מחייתם.
Soon the city will be overthrown, on the grumbling clerks hitched to their desks, and the bustle of sandwich wrappers in cafeterias, on the rattling washer-dryers at laundromats, and the teeth-gnashing and kowtowing of corporate workers and contractors' slaves, both foreign and local, and on the thanks of charity receivers and soup kitchen goers, who seek and find their livelihood in garbage.
עוד מעט והעיר נהפכת על מגשי המלצרים הרצים לשירותם של מנכ"לים קטנים ומנכ"לים גדולים, של אצילי ועדים מורמים מעם, גבירי נמלים ומים וחשמל, ושל פוליטיקאים נבחרינו שצלחתם אומנותם. על צלצול כוסות הבדולח של הוד טייקונותם, אדוני המזון והדלק והבנק, אוכלי עמלנו, פרעוני ישראל, אשר כולנו לרגליהם כנמלים בעמלם, ואם ניפול, יבואו בנינו אחרינו, אריסים, טכנאים ומשרתים לשרתם.
Soon the city will be overthrown, on the trays of waiters rushing in with service, for chairmen small and big, on choice employees, committee nobles, lords of seaports, water and electricity, and on politicians, our elected representatives, whose skill lies in filling their own plates, on the clink of crystal glasses of the excellency, tycoons, masters of food, gas and banks, these consumers of our work, pharaohs of Israel, at whose feet we're like toiling ants, and for whom, if we fall, our kids fill in, vassals, technicians, and workers to serve them.
עוד מעט והעיר נהפכת על תלמוד המורים המתוקעים עד עפרם, ועל קצוות האברכים, נידוני תלמוד הנצח, הסמוכים בהסמכה על שולחן כולם, על קבלני הקולות והמצביעים בסך, על מרכזי המפלגות, על הכרזות, על ההכרזות, ועל הקלפיות הריקות מקולנו של אדם.
Soon the city will be overthrown, on the teaching of the teachers, oppressed low to the ground, and on the subsidies of yeshiva students, condemned to eternal study, ordained to be supported by all of us, on the lobbyists and the procession of voters, and on parties' headquarters, posters and proclamations, and on the ballot boxes, empty of our voices gone silent.
עוד מעט והעיר נהפכת על שלוות המיואשים והעשוקים ממעש, על מחשבותינו לא מחשבותינו, על אקרני החדשות שהיינו כחולמים להולכנו לאורם, על שתיקת כל הכבשים, על נאומי הזאבים ועל העיתונים להזכיר, העושים רצון קונם, ועל נגיסת הנוגסים בנו, האוכלים על הדם, ואין פוצה פה ומצפצף במיטבה לדינם.
Soon the city will be overthrown on the tranquility of the hopeless and those unable to act, on our thoughts that are not our thoughts, on the light of TV screens in which we walk as if dreaming, on the silence of all the sheep, on the speeches of all the wolves, on the newspapers that do the bidding of their owners, and on the bite of our oppressors, who eat meat with blood in it, and there's none who opens his mouth to squeak for fear of being sued.
עוד מעט והעיר נהפכת על עכברים ואנשים, על העיניים המושפלות בשולי הדרכים, על המתים וכובשי ההר, תמונת נוף מולדתם, על התנחלויות אושוויץ והתנחלויות מצדה, על השואה שהייתה ועל זו הבאה, עלינו ועל בנינו, על חציר העם, על קדיש קברנו ועל קדיש קברם, ועל נאמר אמן, ועל לדבר בשפתם, ועל נלך עוד לשיטתם, בחוקיהם, בעוולתם.
Soon the city will be overthrown, on mice and people, on lowered eyes at roadblocks, on the dead, conquerors of the mountain, and the very image of their homeland's landscape, on Auschwitz settlements and Masada settlements, on the Holocaust that was and the ones to come, on us and on our children, by this grass-like nation, on the Kaddish chanted over our graves and the Kaddish chanted over theirs. Let's not say Amen. Let's not speak their language. Let's refuse to follow their ways, their laws, their wrongs.
עוד יום, עוד יומיים, והעיר הנהפכת, ואם לא תהפך, הפכוה.
In a day, maybe two, the city will be overthrown. And if not, go out and overthrow it.
Thank you. Just to change the mood from Thanatos to Eros. El amor brujo. How to say this? You are too close to bear. You are fruit bursting in the heart. You are the name the dumb mouth bears, like sea in the earth palm. I touch and envy my touching hand. Touching, I yearn to touch. Terror of this motionless moment. You are here, inside here, inside here. Here the soul fire burns, the heart unconsumed. Moon. The animal between my legs howls to the animal between your legs. The moon between my teeth howls to the moon in your heart. The animal in my heart smells you always. The Orpheus Prayer. Death and yet more death. Sand and more sand. We have stood in the square hungry to be, and like mountain shadows cover the city with pictures of a waking sleep. Was she there or wasn't she? A stranger in my body, able and yet unable, I try the air. How many more years will we walk these dead sands? The mountains glimpsed like a vision or a mirage. Sands move on underfoot, like memory with no beginning, and each place is every place. Does the way go up or down? Are you there, behind my gaze? Is my gaze there ahead of me? Where have we come from? Alone, the two of us have crossed vast marshes on the slowly melting faces of the ground. For years, we've been immortal. In the attic in Amsterdam, we saw terrible sorrow in the window. How much longer shall we walk between death and death, sand and sand? A new past give us, a new death give us. Give us today the life of the day. Thank you. By the temple. By the temple, Assad is begging bread. Abdallah begging money. Nearby, among the booth of incense and charms, Mustafa is begging stars, and Isa is begging love, stretching out their begging palms, weeping. Mansour is begging truth from every passerby. Jalal begs freedom, Omar, life. And he's begging nothing, yet no one gives him any. His begging bowl is filled with glances and stares, thought alms, word alms, air, fire, earth, kingdoms, elixirs, salvations. He turns his begging bowl upside down and empties it, yet it's still quite full. Dear self, he writes on it, fills it with wine to the brim and drinks up in one gulp. Ah, it's not empty. He smashes his bowl in one go, broken pieces, yet it seems to be now even fuller, multiplied. By the temple, Assad is begging flesh, Mustafa pebbles, and Omar walls. By him, by the temple, there is no temple. In the last poem, I'll read it in English and we'll hear it also in Hindi and Hebrew. When I came to God, when I came to God, I came blind. I heard all around me the song of his longing, his growl, his sigh, his slaughtered longing. I touched with my palms his leaves, his down, the breath of his mouth, his back, still warm. When I came to God, I came naked, tainted by his smell, voice, and handprints. He was walking in the garden in the cool of the day. He was expelled, the fugitive and the vagabond. When I came to God, I whispered to him, know yourself, and I hugged myself. When I came to God, I came alone.
जब मैं ईश्वर के पास आया, जब मैं ईश्वर के पास आया, मैं अंधा था। मेरे चारों ओर था उसकी तृष्णा का गीत, उसकी दहाड़ें, उसकी आहें, उसके निर्मम वध। मैंने अपनी हथेलियों से छुए उसके पत्ते, उसका निम्न भाग, उसकी सांसें और उसका पृष्ठभाग, वह अब भी उसमें था। जब मैं ईश्वर के पास आया, मैं नग्न था। उसकी गंध, आवाज, हाथों के छाप से अशुद्ध होकर वह बागीचे में टहल रहा था, एक ठंडे दिन में, एक निर्वासित अपराधी यायावर की तरह। जब मैं ईश्वर के पास आया, उसे फुसफुसा कर कहा, खुद को जानो, और स्वयं का आलिंगन किया। जब मैं ईश्वर के पास आया, मैं अकेला आया।
כשבאתי אל אלוהים, באתי עיוור. שמעתי סביבי את שיר ערכתו, את נהמתו, הנחתו, את גאייתו הנשחטת. ישבתי בכפותיי את עליו, בלומתו, את הבל פיו, את גבו, החם עדיין. כשבאתי אל אלוהים, באתי עירום, נגוע בריחו, קולו, תביעותיו. הוא התהלך בגן לרוח היום, הוא גורש, והיה נעבדיו. כשבאתי אל אלוהים, לחשתי אליו, דע את עצמך, וחיבקתי את עצמי. כשבאתי, באתי לבד. Thank you.
The poetry reading session will conclude with Nguyen Vuong Bao Viet, a poet, writer, and journalist who is from Vietnam but currently living in Geneva. He has been associated with Vietnamese Writers Abroad PM Center, Vice President of Swiss Roma PM Center, and has been recipient of the To Be Free Award from the, whatever, I can't even pronounce it because it's French, and I'm coming horrible mistakes, of the Académie Romando. His contribution, that he contributes regularly to Vietnamese, Swiss and international media, and has edited and published in many PM Center anthologies, Duo Multilingual Literature Review, Extempore, International Literary Journal, Seawind, International Poetry Exchange Magazine, Rito Shah, Japan International Poets Association, Kyoto, etc. Eugen Hoang Bao Viet.
Firstly, I put my time to the I'm very honored to be here and to make a modest contribution to this great event in poetry. And I would like to dedicate my poem read today to my wife. She is not here, but she is my translator from my poem into English and into French, and we are married because of the poetry. She loved one of my poetry. And me and my wife, with 5 children, we have left Vietnam in 1979 on sponboard, 2 weeks on the ocean, with my 3 books of poems prohibited in the country. I am a Vietnamese poet in exile, but my voice represents also the dream, the emotion, the love, the aspiration of many other Vietnamese poets in exile, but in the country. The first poem, Đóa hoa, a little flower. Đóa hoa ngọc diệp, một đóa hoa vừa nở, sắc bao cầu vồng trên nghĩa trang thành phố, thoáng hiên giữa chiều đông. Một đóa hoa vừa nở, trong tiếng cười thân thương, thoát nguồn thiêng liêng kỳ, mặc rừng tràm ngát hương. Một đóa hoa vừa nở, trong khoảnh khắc bình yên, đáp vội con chim nhỏ, hớp giọt sương bay lên. Một đóa hoa vừa nở, thắp nén tâm nguyện cầu, chắp tay hồn hé mở, đớp hạt bụi phân sao. Một đóa hoa vừa nở, mong manh như cuộc đời rưng rưng bông tuyết đổ, phim phong cầm nhẹ rơi.
I perhaps will not be able to match the rhythm and the beauty of those verses in Vietnamese, but one tries. A little flower is blooming, iridescent, reflecting all the colors of a rainbow, appeared briefly at sunset in the vault of the cemetery of the city, a winter evening. A little flower is blooming, reviving the crystalline echo of adorable bursts of laughter from immemorial source at the borders of the virgin forest of Cajiputier, fragrant with floral nectar's scents. A little flower is blooming at the moment in this atmosphere of peace. The stealth fly bird hastens to alight, snapping up a droplet of dew, quick, flies away. A little flower is blooming, a lighted candle, prayers from the heart, hands clasped, the pious soul ajar, picks up scattered pollen grains from the stars. A little flower is blooming, very frail and fragile, such as here transition into life. Under the salient sky, snowflakes are losing their petals with a sorrowful air. The organ keyboard delivers its notes of regret.
Ce poème en vietnamien thèm dit en anglais, in English, to live. Tôi thèm đi, thèm đi, thèm đi. Không gian níu giữ tôi làm chi? Sầu dâng mây đông lưng trời thấp, tôi ném tôi vào sương khói bay. Tôi hóa thân, tôi làm cỏ biếc, khoác áo mùa xuân lên trái tim. Tôi gọi anh em người giáp mặt, không cần quen là miền tình yêu. Tôi biết bao nhiêu người chết trẻ cho mừng những ai lớn trong tôi. Tôi biết bao nhiêu người lờ bước vờ cuộc đời đen máu tím môi. Nhưng điều họ muốn tôi hằng muốn vui sống bình yên giữa tiếng cười. Quê hương thoát cánh tay tàn phá, hạnh phúc đỏ bằng giấc ngủ say. Những người đã khuất không sao lãng, cho bụi còn cái trái đơm bông. Những người sống sót thêm tin tưởng, mưa ngọt thay vì lệ trẻ thơ. Tôi thèm đi, thèm đi, thèm đi. Tim mang dòng máu yêu thương đầy, bàn tay nắm lá xanh hy vọng, làm hiệu cho hoa nở bướm bay.
I want to leave, to leave, to leave. Is there any need to prevention space? Sorrow gathers into a chaos of clouds at the heart of the lowering sky. I fly away along with the mist from the dew. I morph into greenery. I take on the heart of a spring mantis. I call those who pass by my brothers and sisters, known or unknown, who cares? If one is trusting, how many young people have perished, and the seed of human love grows within me? How many more unfortunate ones have had their lives taken, and their blood and their lips turned dark violet? What they want, I want, to breathe a soul of peace filled with bursts of laughter. May our country escape destructive arm. The measure of happiness is deepest sleep. Our dear departed are not at all neglectful. Their ashes fertilize a new flowering, and they bear fruit as survivors. We repeat our convictions for sweet rain in place of children's tears. I want to leave, to leave, to leave. The heart replenished with humanity and fraternity. The hand, the 5 green leaves of hope, will give the signal for the flowers to blossom and for the butterflies to flutter.
Xuân ước vọng, a desire and expect the spring. Trước thềm xuân mới, chúng ta hằng mong ước, mang hy vọng cho một thế giới thái hòa, tôn vinh nhân phẩm, công lý và tự do. Thì văn hữu khắp năm châu bàn cầm bút, trên những ghe thuyền mục nát trôi rạc giữa đại dương. Hãy làm sống lại khát vọng với niềm tin, là bùi quý cho con người trên trái đất. Cho bình minh của chúng ta hân hoan xòe cánh, cho bầy bồ câu trắng đến đầu bờ vai đàn trẻ thơ. Khoáng thai gọi nhịp cho đôi chim sơn ca thôi rụt rè cất tiếng nói. cho những búp sen thanh khiết vươn lên từ đầm lầy, vươn lên từ đầm lầy, dương bút nhàn để trùm bông lúa nở rộ thanh những gương mặt người.
A desired and expected spring. On the threshold of a long-awaited spring, bearing the hope of a world of peace, crowned with dignity, justice, freedom, poets, writers, brother and sister authors of the 5 continents. Here we are on these makeshift crafts, drifting on every ocean. Let us reawaken our universal hope, precious salt for all human beings on the planet, so that dawn may unfold joyfully its wings, so that the white doves of peace may return to peck fearlessly beside our children at play, so that larks no longer fear to sing, so that by fields covered in ripe stalks, the sweet water lilies blossom once more in lavish mass, like our human faces.
Lửa buồn, fire of sadness. Lửa buồn vừa bốc ngọn, lửa buồn vấy linh hồn. Tôi ở lại một mình, trước mặt là biển lửa, trước mặt là núi cao, sau lưng là trẻ con, sau lưng là buổi chiều, sau lưng là mùa đông, xa nữa là bờ sông. Lửa buồn không muốn nói, lửa buồn không muốn nghe, vì sao tôi ở lại, thế giới đi về đâu, 4 chân trời có rút bàn tay. Thời gian cũng dọa nạt trẻ con khóc đòi đi. Lửa buồn ơi lửa buồn, tay tôi chờ bạc lửa. Lửa buồn ơi lửa buồn, mắt tôi chờ bóng tối, mắt tôi chờ sao hôm. Tôi cất tiếng ca, trẻ con nằm ngủ say, một mình tôi chiến đấu, đêm này tới ngày mai. Lửa buồn ơi lửa buồn, linh hồn chưa kiệt sức, ngã rồi con đứng lên.
The fire of sadness flares up. The fire of sadness besieges my soul. I stay alone. In front of me is a sea of fire, and further on, a chain of mountains. Behind me are the children. It's evening, it's winter. Below is a river. The fire of sadness still doesn't want to speak. The fire of sadness still doesn't want to listen. Why am I bound to stay? Where is this world going? The 4 horizons are contracting. Misfortune is everywhere. Time is equally threatening. The children are crying, imploring to go away. Fire of sadness, fire of sadness. My hand is ready to catch on fire. Fire of sadness, fire of sadness. My eyes gaze at the spectre of the night. My eyes search for the morning star. I begin to sing. The children are sleeping very soundly, and I fight on alone, from one day to the next. Fire of sadness, fire of sadness. My spirit is still far from exhausted, stumbling, falling, getting up once more.
Trên chòi canh, from near door. Anh thấy gì lưng trời hãy vòng tay ôm. Anh thấy gì mây rừng hai mái tóc đen. Anh thấy gì dòng sông hai mặt màu tím? Anh thấy gì gió chiều hay chân lá bướm? Anh thấy gì lửa hồng hay nọc lều tranh? Anh thấy gì rào gái hay viên mi khép? Anh thấy gì ngò lầy hai nếp trắng nhân? Anh thấy gì bông chim hay người sắp chết? Anh thấy gì quân thù hay đứa em anh?
From the Mirador. What do you see? The skyline or the hug of loving arms? What do you see? The clouds above the forests or the ebony hair? What do you see? The mist or a veil of tears? What do you see? The stream of water or the heartbeat? What do you see? The evening breeze or the leaves quivering? What do you see? A glowing fire or the thatched roof of a home? What do you see? Barbed wire or downcast eyelashes? What do you see? Muddy furrows or wrinkles on a forehead? What do you see? The silhouette of a fleeing bird or a dying man? What do you see? Your enemy or your brother?
Cho hy vọng vỗ cánh. May hope take flight. Cho hy vọng vỗ cánh qua nóc tháp lâu, qua bức tường tuổi nhục, tương lai như mây mù. Cho bó củi dựng dưng, bạc lửa giữa sa mạc, thần chết chờ thản nhiên, vùi tro tàn dưới cát. Cho con dao bất hạnh không dùng nữa về sau, đem tra vào vỏ đất, mặt rỉ sét ăn mòn. Cho nòng súng vô duyên không nhắm chùm tóc biếc, không nhắm ngưỡng cửa tim, chim còn tới múa hát. Cho những người gục ngã vô lý và bất công, xác hoàng giữa trí nhớ vùng dậy đòi phục sinh. Cho con dê suy tư sau một đêm ốm đòi, tìm ra bãi cỏ non trong mùa cằn cỗi. Cho nỗi đau chia cắt đổi lấy phút đoàn phim, vòng âu yếm ôm siết ngọt ngào chụm môi hôn. Cho những viên ngọc sương chiếu màu sắc rừng núi trên bình trời quê hương khi mùa xuân trở lại. Cho tình yêu kết trái như đôi lửa, trong đôi ấm lửa đôi, ngôn ngữ như người đẹp gõ gút đi chân trần. Cho đỏ thịt thấm ra, mi mắt thâm dấu đàn, chống lành lại vết chém trên đầu lưỡi thi ca. Cho những trang bản thảo bắt đầu bằng chữ êm, biến những dòng kế tiếp thành khát vọng phì nhiêu. Cho kích thước ngày mai vừa tầm với hôm nay, niềm tin bước ánh sáng tới biển sao tuyệt vời. Cho rung cảm tinh lọc qua dòng suối ngây thơ, bất ngờ hoa biết nói, hồn đau chợt mỉm cười.
May hope take flight and spread out its wings above the tower of anguish, above the wall of shame. The future seems dark as gloomy clouds. May the indifferent faggot catch fire in the open desert where death waits impassive to shroud the ashes in the sand. May the miserable dagger not serve anymore. Drive it in its earthen sheath, never mind if it becomes prey to rust. May the muzzle of the awkward rifle no longer take aim at the black-blue hair, nor at the heart's vestibule. where the birds come to sing and dance. May those who have fallen in an absurd and unjust death, may their bodies in our memory rise and claim the resurrection. May the pensive cricket, after a parched night, discover freshness in the sterile brain. May the sorrow of being torn apart know the joy of reunion, soft embraces, delightful kisses. May the dreaming seed sprout before the rainy season, the orphan wishes even more beautiful alive. May every pearl of dew reflect the colors of mountains and forests on the celestial flank of the native land when the spring renews its rounds. May, from love, the fruit be born in conjugal warmth. May language like beauty, clogs removed, trot barefooted. May the eyelid laden with the bullet impact recover its beautiful rose tint. May the wound heal at the tip of the mutilated tongue of poetry. May the pages of manuscripts beginning with the word love transform the lines which follow into fertile hopes. May the measure of the future be within reach of today's feeling. May faith in steps of light reach the divine prodigy, the sea of stars. May inspiration crystallize through ingenious voice from the source of limpid life. Marvelously, the lotus gives voice, delighted, the suffering soul smiles.
The two last poems. My tomorrow. Chờ sao ra biển, thả chim lên trời, trồng cây cho đất, trả thú về rừng, tái trơn phủi sạch tới trước bờ sông, nước ngược đôi dòng quay quanh cầu đất, mây chiều xuống thấp, bên nào đục trống. Với tim đập mãi còn yêu vô cùng, lấy thơ làm đũa đưa người qua đêm.
Tomorrow, bring the stars to the sea, let the birds fly to the skies, spread tree nurseries over all the earth, return wild beasts to the jungle, rub one's empty hands, come close to the shore of the river, gaze at it going back and forth, whirling around the arch of the bridge. Rain clouds are coming in the evening. Toward which haven? Where the water is clouded, where water is limpid. As long as the heart still beats, love lasts forever. From poetry, make yourself a torch to lead mankind through the night.
This is the last one. Dưới mưa bom đạn, under the rain of bomb and shell. Dưới mưa bom đạn, lưng trời đôi cánh treo leo, đêm qua biên giới sao nhiều hơn mưa. Quê nhà em ngủ hay chưa, vừa hôn anh đó bây giờ đứng trong lòng em như suối bao dung. Mắt ơi sao ưa nhưng dòng máu đen. Ru con ngủ với hồn chim dưới mưa bơm đàn, dưới mưa bơm đàn bài tìm nhau.
Under the hail of bombs and shells, Up the steep firmament side, with tiny wings, I cross the frontier. Tonight, the stars have multiplied, being more numerous than the rain. At our family home, are you still awake? You just kissed me. Here, you're following me with your worried look on your face. Your affectionate heart is the source of tolerance. Why do your eyes, in floods of black blood, burst into tears? Dandling our child in your arms and singing him to sleep. You fall asleep with this mythical bird's soul. Under the hail of bombs and shells, phoenixes fly and look for each other. Thank you.
My friend, with this, the poetry reading session comes to an end. You have heard voices from Korea, Vietnam, India, Afghanistan, and Israel. And now, without a break, we will move on to the panel discussion on freedom and dissent in poetry. And Mr. Sudhir Chandra, who is a very eminent social thinker and historian, who is deeply interested in literature and music, will be chairing it. So may I request Sudhir Chandra to come over, and in the meantime, the poets can sit in the audience now.
Juan Bauviet and Mr. Najwan Darwish to please join the stage for the session on freedom and dissent in poetry.
Friends, we now begin our panel discussion on freedom and dissent in poetry. We have a very distinguished panel here, and I am privileged to be sitting in their midst. May I first invite Mr. Najwan Darwish, and let me offer a very brief introduction. Born in 1978 in Jerusalem. Now this is very important for a Palestinian poet to be born in Jerusalem. He has a poem on Jerusalem. Born in 1978 in Jerusalem, Najwan Darwish is the foremost Arabic language poet of his generation. His work has been translated into over 20 languages. His 2014 book, Nothing More to Lose, was listed by the US National Public Radio among the best books of the year. He is chief editor of the cultural section of Al-Arabi Al-Jadid, a pan-Arab newspaper. He is very, like I said, foremost poet of his generation, and I was reading his poems, and I want to share with you just 3 lines. My country is a song, and as soon as it ends, I go back to being a refugee.
Thank you for the introduction. Actually, I have to say 2 things. First, one of my troubles that I only speak Arabic. This is the only language I quite know. And now I'm like thinking in Arabic, and I have a kind of Google translator in my head. So I'm not so fluent when through Google Translator. I wish I can speak with you in Arabic. The second thing, I thought that artists and poets are on their worst moment when they talk. it's always better not to talk. It's more than enough to write, and if someone would read what you are writing, this would be always better. Because I never thought of talking about poetry. I thought always it's a bad habit. I think we should not talk about poetry. Poetry should talk about itself, if it can talk about itself. But in the same time, we found ourselves in a place that we should talk, and we should do this sin of talking about poetry. And the worst of talking about poetry would be talking about freedom, because any coward could talk better than all of us about freedom, and about what's freedom, and about a lot of things. So no one can envy me now on being in this situation. When I'm thinking of freedom, I would think of three things. I like number three much more than I have three things to think about, but I'm saying three things. First thing, our trouble with poetry and freedom, that we are practicing an ancient art. For example, in Arabic language, the history of poetry could go to 4,000 years. So when you're gonna write in a language with a tradition of 4,000 years of poetry, you lack freedom. And part of your struggle inside the language to find the freedom to be yourself in the tradition, and to find your voice within a poetical tradition. This is one of the troubles of poetry and freedom. The other trouble is to be yourself within the other self, or which could be the society, could be any other which is outside you. How to be yourself with the other without being horrible. How to say things socially and politically, to be yourself without being so horrible to the social norms, to the political norms, to what we are living. And from my experience, I always found everyone, we all love truth theoretically, on theoretical level. We all love the truth, but the truth is not really a welcome figure in our life. So, maybe I should say something about myself, from where I am, and what's my story with freedom. I was born in Jerusalem, which is an occupied city. And the word occupation is also tricky because it's not really very much understood. And when I mean occupation, I'm talking about colonial project, colonialism, which you knew here in India. You were having the epitome, the most professional occupation in the world. I was a student of the British colonialism, the Israeli colonialism, and in some aspects it's better than the British colonialism. So one of the things that we grew up under, that our claim was, when I was a kid at that time, that the political freedom to free our land from this colonial project. This was the question something 34 years ago. Nowadays, the question is still there, but the hopes are less. The colonial project is more successful, more stingy, more rude, I have to say, and more cruel and shameless. So, what has this to do with poetry and freedom? The first freedom you need to do as a poet is to be a poet, because you are under the danger of becoming an activist, which is something quite different from being a poet. How to be a poet in such situation. The other freedom, how to be a poet without being stupid. I mean, without betraying the political reality, without acting like someone who doesn't see the damage of colonialism, and also as someone who should stand against the colonial powers. But the issue, the problem of standing against the colonial power is against the different aspects of power which colonialism has. Colonialism are controlling the narrative, the media, the relations about you, and whenever you stand against colonialism, you're gonna find yourself isolated. And this is on public level. On personal level, it's a kind of nightmare that however you will try to move, however you try to do things in the world, you would find colonialism waiting for you somewhere. And even here in India, I will find my colonizers sitting on the stage and welcomed as respected guests and acting like they are poets of freedom and under the session. And I'm sure they can talk about freedom better than me, my colonizers. The ones who are damaging not my right of freedom, even my hopes of freedom, they are damaging. And it's a big grief for me, a big sorrow, because India for me was always the land of Gandhi, who was not just a freedom fighter for India, I think he was a freedom fighter for Palestine as well, and his stance to Palestine well known, and also for the whole humanity. I think we are living now in a kind of dark ages. The words of Mr. Ashok singing in the dark ages, I agree 100% of that, but I also suspect about what kind of song we should sing in the dark ages. Thank you.
Now I request Ms. Marine Petrosian, a very brief introduction. Armenian poet, essayist, columnist, and public figure, Marian Petrosian shot into fame with her very first book of poems, which came out in 1993 and was translated into French as J'apporterai des pierres, I'll carry stones, in 1995. Since then, she has published another 4 volumes of poetry. She has participated in many international festivals and been writer in residence at prestigious institutions. Her essay, Why the War Does Not Come to an End, has received wide acclaim. And I'll read just a few lines from one of her poems. She writes about her personal pain and how, when overwhelmed by personal pain, she goes on a long walk. And during the walk, during the walk, what happens? I'll read that portion. I forget what had happened to me. I forgot what had happened to me. I began to think about things that were happening to other people right now. I moved inside of them and turned into a different nothing.
Thank you. First of all, before beginning my main speech, what I want to say to you, I will express my objection to Naivan when he said that poetry. I think there is a big need. It's very important because, as a famous French critic said, poetry is like a bell. If you don't touch it, it doesn't sound. You don't hear its sound. It exists, but you don't hear its sound. And I think the situation in the world now with poetry is like that. It exists, there are very good poets, but poetry in the world doesn't matter because nobody touches the bell and you don't hear its sound. So that's why I wanted to object. It's a very important topic for me. But the main thing is not that I want to tell to you. I want to speak about freedom. I was born in Soviet Union. Maybe many of you remember about Soviet Union because I am from Armenia, but Armenia once was part of Soviet Union. It was Soviet Armenia. So I remember well the Soviet Union, and I remember what it meant then to be free, because in Soviet Union there was an ideology, official ideology, and it was accepted. It was the only ideology, so you would never be able to speak against it officially on TV or on newspapers. So when there is something imposed on you, if you freedom becomes you have to be free against it. It's very simple. So if any poet would speak just 2 words against ideology, he would very quickly become famous. And in Soviet Armenia, poets were very, very influential because poetry had become the only place, because newspapers were lying, TV was lying, everybody knew that. At the end of the Soviet Union, everybody knew that. And no one was reading newspapers, no one was watching TV, mainly only movies. And if a poet would just 2 words, 2 free words, he would become famous. I remember the end of the Soviet Union. When I published my first book, Soviet Union was already over. So I remember it, but I was not there. I was born, my first book just after Soviet Union, when it collapsed, and independent Armenia, where now I live, appeared. So the situation in nowadays Armenia is utterly different. There is no official ideology. You can speak what you want, you can write what you want, but the problem is that poetry has become not influential at all. You can write what you like, but mostly people are not reading anymore. And I think why I speak about this, because I think I've been in many European countries, I've published books in France, I often go there, I've been often in New York, in America. I say New York because it's my best city that I like. And there the situation is the same. Poets are free, and there are a lot of poets, but mostly only poets read poets. So in this situation, what is freedom? Well, there is nothing against you. It's not so simple. But what is freedom? Let's say, what is freedom in America? Huh? What's freedom? It's very difficult, but I think in America also, I give the example of the most rich and prosperous country. People are not free because they are in a system. It's not a kind of dictatorship, no, it's free, but it's a system. And they are not free, first of all, because they don't have free time. They don't have time to read poetry. Poetry is not obligatory. You have to be free to read poetry. Yeah? And people, so it is, I think that the situation in the world, if you take the world, there are these 2 situations. There are countries which are dictatorships, let's say simply. And there, the freedom is to be free of something, yes, imposed. And on other countries, and European and in America, the problem is different. You have to be free to choose your way of living. I mean, what is poetry? Because with poetry you can never gain money. You can never become poet to gain money. But people mostly in nowadays society, in free market society, they just work to have much money. Yeah, that's the system. And poetry is against that. Poetry is not for money. Poetry is not for something. It is free, but it is difficultly free. Yeah. And So I think maybe you will not agree with me. Maybe I do not know in what situation in your country. I think, but if I take the whole world, I think poetry is in a crisis now. I think it's a big crisis. But crisis is not often, not only bad thing. What is crisis? Crisis means that you have to find new ways, new ways. I mean, that's what I'm doing myself in my poetry. Let's say in my country, most of people like my first books because they are more traditional in a European sense. I mean, they are, but now I write poems, often people don't like them. They say, they don't look like poems, they are not like poems. What are you writing? But I'm trying to find something which will be important for me and for other people. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Pleasure to introduce my old friend Vivian Vajpayee, doctor, poet, essayist, short story writer, playwright, cultural critic. Vivian Vajpayee has published 2 collections of poems, 3 collections of short stories, 3 books of essays, 3 plays. He has worked with and written texts for 2 foremost filmmakers of India, Mani Kaul and Kumar Shahi. He is editor of Samas, a journal on arts, literature, and civilization. Not unconcerned with the present, Udayan looks beyond on Punaragaman, eternal return, and takes the metaphysical view of the human predicament, and I'll read out just 4 lines, 5. Life left to float like lotus flower in the lake of ecstasy. No one comes, no one grows.
Let me just start by saying what Patricia said, that in India it's almost, it's not exactly dictatorship, but some kind of regimentation is there. But even then the poetry is not read. So we are a unique case in that sense, where poets are scanned, but poetry is not read. So if at all anybody hopes about a kind of tough system which would give meaning to poetry, we are hopeless. We are in a hopeless situation. We have shown the world that we can have something, some kind of regimentation, and yet poetry would remain like that bell of the French critic. The second is that after independence, India, for that matter, Kasparov said a very beautiful thing about India, the great chess player. He said, India is a very strange country where you have all the disadvantages of communism and no advantages. So we had a very strong, regimented, system where certain ideology was, not certain Marxism was above everything. It was a new religion for the intellectuals of the country. And it was for the last 40, 50 years. Now, of course, for the last 20 years, it's one way. But then that damaged our poetry, I think, a lot. I mean, you had to conform to certain ideas to be a poet. And that, in a sense, of course, that also produced some wonderful poets within that tradition. After all, Mayakovsky was also born there. So there was some, but poets like us, we had real tough time. Because those days, if you were not politically correct, which meant, I think, a few years back, till a few years back, that you are not, leftist in that false sense of the word, then you are committing some mistake. So everybody was trying to be politically correct. And you see the politically correct poets are usually bad poets, because you have to all the time look for your political correctness. Because I think in that, and that maze, what was not, I think, properly understood was that actually poetry is not only the object of the words. Poetry is far more than that. Poetry, in fact, is the state of being of everything. And by writing words, you are actually, uncovering that state of being. So, not exactly the poetry, poetry uncovers that state of being, and that means, for that, the poet needs, neither this side to go or not that side. But in fact, it's a very beautiful concept in Sanskrit which is called pratibha. It's very poorly translated as talent. Because pratibha word actually means bha. Bha is the main word and prati is prefix. Bha means light. So when one is able to throw light on one's own uniqueness, one's own sense of beauty, one's own sense of ethics, only then you become an artist or maybe a philosopher of a very. And by writing a poem, you make your readers also become aware of his or her uniqueness, his or her own unique sense of ethics. You see, the ethics, the political always imposes a generalized sense of ethics. And poets always question the generalized sense of ethics by proposing their own slightly different sense of justice and ethics, and thereby the sense of beauty too. And therefore, the poets would remain uncomfortable, whatever is the political system, whether it's because in fact the market also has its own ways of generalizing, as she was saying, rightly so, that you make poetry irrelevant, precisely marginal or almost, it is hardly heard. And the point is there because once a unique sense of beauty is recognized in a poem, then automatically the market falls. You might be knowing that this industrial revolution was primarily a revolution of the design, because world over the same design was imposed, and not only design of the objects but also the design of experience. And poetry, in a sense, of whatever language, will always question a generalized sense of design, a generalized sense, of the beauty, which fashion industry cannot tolerate. So there are only two ways of doing it. The market is much more clever than the, Soviet Union, because Soviet Union just took 70 years to collapse. I don't think that the market will take so short a time. Of course, I do think that it will collapse because it taken the human beings to a position where everybody is now everyone, and therefore everyone is alone. So this very strange situation, human beings cannot live forever. This will break. This will eventually come to a breakdown. It is only now that one feels that it would never, collapse, because we have seen that even when, wherever the dictatorships were, they were also seen like tunnels without any light. But now, if you study the market carefully, or what it is trying to propose, you see even in world cinema all over the world, the money available for independent cinema is hardly there. Money available for poetry collections of people who are writing completely differently, is the publishers are not there. Because unless and until you marginally participate into the generalized sense of beauty, you are thrown out. And therefore, to continue writing itself, I mean, what would freedom here mean? What is the dissent here? Dissent is that I write the way I write. And I don't care whether they like it or not. I continue doing that, continuing doing my, assertion of my ethics, which is nothing different from the aesthetics, and I go on asserting it, and go on feeling, go on not hoping even, you just throw it like a bottle in the sea, and you do your work. And lastly, there's a very interesting story that once somebody went into the sea, the seashore, and there was a crab. And he tried to bring that crab out of the water, and the crab immediately stinked, cut his finger. He did it again. Once again, he brought it back. He did the same again. So somebody asked him, "Are you a fool? Why are you doing that?" He said, "I am doing what I can do. It is doing what it can." So I think that, thank you.
Thank you. The last speaker this evening is the one whose poetry we just heard. And like me, you may also be remembering his lines, "What do you see, your enemy or your brother?" And a very brief introduction of Nguyen Hoang Bao Viet, poet, writer, and journalist. He is the co-founder of the Vietnamese Writers Exile Center, associated also actively with PEN. He is co-founder of the Vietnamese League for Human Rights, recipient of the prestigious Quiconque peut être libre, Whoever Wants to Be Free award for 2018.
Thank you. Normally, I would not be here, but as the subject, the issue is very interesting, and I try to make a small contribution to this conversation, this discussion. As you already know, I am a Vietnamese poet in exile. I was born and lived in a country like Korea, like Germany, and after the Second World War, there are 3 countries divided into 2. But Vietnam divided into 2 countries, 2 states in 1954. North and South. I consider myself Vietnamese, a Vietnamese, and Vietnamese poet. I love my country because the poetic heritage of Vietnam is very rich. Many thousand years before the poem have been written, as well as the history of Vietnam. First, the Vietnamese poet express fully freedom and human life. No poetry without freedom or human life. Through our history, in a long war, inhuman war, unjust war, I live. Poets, Vietnamese poets, are bearer of hope, of dreams, of adventure. They are also witness of reality. Vietnamese poet disregard of political system, always longing to authentic poetry. That means with words, with love, with desire, Vietnamese poet hope to be preached, to find way to go to the other side of the world, to other river of the who divide the country, who divide the world. Poetry is not capable to change the world, but through our experience, we think and we are convinced that poets are capable to unite the world, to bring tolerance, hope, and brotherhood to this world so divided. And very, very sad to say, freedom is very fragile. Very sad to say, human life is threatened wherever you go. And poetry is subject to threat, to restriction, and our experience, poetry can make a union, can unite adversary. For instance, when in 1955, Vietnam, the South Vietnam, fell into another region. As poet, I refused to leave the country, to escape from the new regime. My wife, she teacher, would prefer to stay because this is our native land. This, we can speak Vietnamese. We can write our poems for us, for our children, for our brother and sister, and for friends around the world. We can, and we refuse to leave the country. Unhappily, the poetry is mistreated. My three books poem prohibited. Firstly, because these poems are written in a country is not considered as enemy to the new state. Secondly, because in my poem, there are poems I written for Nelson Mandela, for Dalai Lama, for Federico Garcia Lorca, for Ponelua, for Robert Lesnos, for Black American, for Tibet, for India also. In 1955, I have written a poem entitled Song of Calcutta. I think that poet is universal. He of openness, spirit, his love, his tolerance, he desire to go to the other person or the human being. Vietnam is a country. Vietnam is despite long war, Vietnam remained a country of many Vietnamese poets now are trying to reunite. And I am in exile, but I have very many links distinctly with many Vietnamese poets in the country. I translated their poems into English and to French and sent to the world. And they published my prohibited poem in the country. You see, I think that, and now many Vietnamese poets in the country, in exile in the country, yeah, has refused to be silenced. And they have the courage to write poems, not only prohibited. And that in face of mistreatment, in face of arrestation, in face of sentence in prison. So, poetry express fully freedom of expression and human life. I think that we must keep hope that each poet permit me to say, consider himself or herself having been endured a mission to unite humanity, to build a peaceful world, a tolerant world, despite conflict in Palestine, in Bosnia, in Near and East Orient, in Africa, in many other countries. I'm firmly convinced poetry remains something precious, something attached to humanity. And I hope my meeting here with you reinforce my conviction that tomorrow all of us will be a member of this alliance of brotherhood in the world.
So friends, before we leave, permit me to say a few words. I was struck by the constant recurrence of a paradox in these presentations, some of these presentations, the paradox of freedom and unfreedom, and it resulted in a very piquant conclusion that it's only when there is no freedom that poetry becomes important and relevant. But then there are other unfreedoms also, like the unfreedom of convention, the unfreedom of political correctness, the unfreedom of the market, and if I may add, the unfreedom of language. You are always a prisoner of language, and you are trying to transcend the limits within which you have to operate. So it's constantly in a state of unfreedom that the poet seeks to write. But there are other levels of the problem. And let me refer to something which Najman Darwish said at the beginning. Now, this, I think, in a gathering like this becomes very important. When he says that cowards can talk about freedom much more eloquently than advocates of freedom can. It is possible. And then he moved on to say that my colonizers are sitting here and talking of freedom. Now, the reference could not have been lost on any one of us present here. And because this is a very, very significant and I think a very delicate matter which we ought to discuss, I want to raise the question of the distinction between the poet and his or her poetry. I dare suggest that no poet is fortunate enough to live up to the heights and nobility of their poetry. There's always a shadow, and perhaps a very large shadow, falling between the poet as a person and the poetry that this person produces. A strange alchemy, you can call it magic. A strange transformation overtakes, seizes the person when the person is writing poetry. The person is no longer the same person who is subject to normal human weaknesses, normal human passions, normal human desires. So how does this alchemy function? Now, I'm in no position to even hazard a guess. I'm a pedestrian historian. But I admire those who can transcend their own, the limitations of their own being. And if this is what makes poetry possible, if this is what makes fine, good poetry possible, then we have to forget the poet and stick to the poetry. Now, I was very struck by a line in that poem from the colonizer that Darwish was talking about. The Holocaust that was and the Holocaust that will follow. There's a very, very significant line in Darwish's own poem on Jerusalem, where the sacrificer discovers that he is being sacrificed. So now that distinction between the one who sacrifices and the one who is sacrificed, that should make it possible for someone like Darwish to overlook the poet, to forget the poet, to erase the poet, and concentrate on the poetry. That I think is very significant, and I have lived through. Now, we have been talking on experiences. I have lived through, like many of us here, through the emergency, where not only substantively, not only substantially, but even formally, democracy and freedoms were suspended. And we saw during those 2.5 years something we had not anticipated. Some of our best poets turned into supporters of the regime. And those very poets, after the emergency was over, forgot what their role during those 2.5 years were. But strange amnesia, how could it overtake them? Now, I'm not saying this critically. I'm only trying to suggest that poets are also human beings. Let us remember that the iconic figures of freedom, so far as poetry is concerned, still continue to be poets like Akhmatullah, Mandelstam. Let us not forget that even Akhmatullah and Mandelstam wrote poems in praise of Islam. We seem to have forgotten that. Mandelstam, yes, but Mandelstam also took care not to include those poems in his works. When his works were prepared, and his works were published posthumously, those poems are missing from Mandelstam's collected works. I'm trying to suggest that we have to look at the poet as a normal human being like us and pray that more and more human beings will become good poets, transcend the limits of their being, and produce noble poetry, the kind of poetry that is needed in these dark times. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudhir sir. Thank you all of you for being part of the inaugural session of WAC, the Raza Biennale of Asian Poetry. Just a little reminder, we have a small get-together, if I may say so, cocktails and dinner tonight. And tomorrow we convene again, we meet again at 10:30 a.m. at the multipurpose hall of the India International Center.